Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching Healthy Alternative. Today, I want to talk about the benefits of Michael, and today we're going to be talking about.
Today we'll be making one of my favorite soups.
Welcome to the
Tomato
JR72
soup.
Challenge.
I am Animated Mel, and I am your mental and wellness coach for
As
Healthy
always,
Alternative.
perfection is not needed, but consistency.
We must
is.
first lovingly accept what is. You can't heal a body you hate.
Oh, good evening. Good evening. All my lovely DR96 dry fasting challengers. Can you all hear me? I'll make sure all of the settings are setting. Make sure the settings are setting, man. Oh, okay. Thank you, Shannon. Yes. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. I'm so glad that you all can hear me. How are y'all doing today? How are y'all feeling? This is what is this, day 4 of the actual fasting regimen? Yeah, day 4, right? So that means there's a little bit of alive. Oh God, oh God. Hey, look. Well, we'll get into it, but alive, excited, okay. Hi, Linda. Hi. Thank you for joining this evening. It is a very huge accomplishment. Dry fasting is that's the that's the highest tier. That's what's not Everest. Everest isn't the highest one, right? But it's Everest. It's all those big mountains that you want to, you know, that you got to climb. Julie, today's Mad Crucial. Okay, pushing through. Look, this y'all are doing so well. I like you really, and I just you really have to understand that it's a challenge. It's challenging. We're moving into the hotter months now, the warmer months. So there's a couple of different things kind of picking at you, right? And so it's even more challenging because it's strange in wintertime. Do you ever remember in wintertime you kind of forgot about drinking water? It was like for some reason you just let's not think about like right now we're AHA, we fast, we drink water throughout the year, but think about your adolescence. And wintertime came around and it was as though, why would I drink water? Right. So it's just like depending on the time of year or the weather conditions, that can impact your ability or that conscious effort to properly hydrate and do all these things. So when you're in a dry fast, especially around this time of the year, like it's kind of different. It's more challenging, I would imagine, just because of even like factors like that. So definitely give yourself some props. You know what I mean? You've made it through, almost made it through the first cycle. It seems like hey, however many hours you made it through, like it's a tough thing. It's tough. And whether you made it 84, 96, 106, Lakers in 5. Okay, now that's a joke. Whether you made it 84 hours or whatever, it's even just being in that area somewhere, it's really powerful because you're still getting so much of the benefit. An extra half day or so, it's all right. You know what I mean? You're still getting so much of the benefit. So yeah, I'm looking at like y'all got like remember these dry fasting is no joke. There's no harder fasting than that. So y'all been working it. Y'all been doing well. Okay, this is good. So everybody, I just want to just say hello. Say hello for this first portion. Do you have any uh, exciting things that you're going to? Well, let's not get crazy now because we got to break smart, right? Follow the various guides and everything, but is there a nice, healthy, easily absorbable and digestible meal that you have planned for this weekend? I know for me, when I think about when I do my dry fasting, I actually was doing some of that myself, and I'll explain that too. But for me, it's always that fruit, the fruit. Yeah, okay, watermelon. Yeah, it's crazy how the different tiers of fasting will cause you to have the cravings for a different tier of food, like that pure, straight out of nature. I don't want nothing crazy. Give me juice, watermelons, apples, grapes, all that kind of stuff. So no orange was safe in your house today. Oh my gosh, excuse me, y'all. It's been a week for me. It's been a week for me. Okay, water tomorrow, and then smoothie bowl on Saturday. Okay, smoothies, yeah, yeah. Mix the fruit up. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, hi Leslie. Good evening to you. Mango and pineapple. Man, that sounds good. That sounds good. Oh, you know what I should have did? I should have turned the fan on. That's okay though. I'm not gonna get up. So listen, y'all. I'm glad that it's going well. I'm glad that it's going well for you all so far. Uh, because this is you know, when we're in this together, that cohesion, right? The community. And I know it's things that we say, but when you're in it, see, when you're in it, now it's not just words, right? It's not just words when you're in it, but when you're going through that challenge together with that community, then it's like those moments of weakness that might start boop, 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 poking at you, right? You're able to fall back and lean on those who are in it with you, and it really helps because you're not alone. You can check in, get those moments of how are y'all getting through? What cheat codes can AB up down left right start? Can I enter that on my computer and maybe that'll help me? You know, can I on the Sims where you can put the codes in to just make all your needs just be green? You maxed out all your needs and everything's okay. That's what the community is. It's cheat codes for you. Okay, so I'm hoping that this first round will definitely giving you that give you that taste of what you can expect and how you can use it to your advantage, but also to let you know that you can do it so long as you give yourself permission to and give yourself the chance. You got to realize that y'all are like, I don't know what the percentage is. I'm not going to make something up. Oh, you know what? I am going to make something up. Y'all are like top 10 percenters probably in the world because people don't voluntarily take away their vital nourishment, food and water, for extended days at a time. You know what I mean? Like that, it takes a different type of person to do that, to say I'm willing to take this risk. I'm willing to bet on myself and to see what I can achieve, right? And then when you're going through it, all these things are happening, you start seeing these changes. It's like the changes are just beautiful. They're so, you know what I mean? They're so helpful. So yeah, this is what I learned in personal training school. This type of thing builds self-efficacy, meaning you can draw strength from the fact that I've done this before. I've done this before, and therefore I can do it again. No matter what time, down the line I do it, I've done it before and I can do it again. And it's just like, that takes away the fear too. Because it's that fear that really, that's another thing that just locks people down and keeps them in that same old past place. So, let me talk to y'all real quick, okay? I'm gonna talk to y'all real quick. Last Sunday, we had the coaches, the meeting. We had our live before we kicked off the DR96, yeah, and it was all gravy. I have been detoxing extremely heavily this week, very heavily this week. Now, and I don't mean like every day has been a struggle. The first day was a struggle. I just slept all day. First day was a struggle. Okay. And it just, and this ties into my topic tonight. The topic of tonight. Well, let me go back a little bit. During the live last week, username Smooth Sailing. I don't know if this person is here tonight, but I made this live because I didn't get to answer the question on the call, and I figured it would be a better. Hello, Smooth Sailing. I figured it would be better to make a live instead of trying to quickly answer the question, because it really wouldn't suffice. But it's so funny because of what has been happening the timeline is just, probably the beginning of this month. I think it was about the 4th. And what I experienced just this past week. So I started detoxing extremely heavily. I Sunday night was all good. The crew, we did our live. It was a great live. Monday morning, I woke up. Well, I woke up throughout the night many times, and I'm just like, ooh, okay, got to use the bathroom. My body feels hot, and I'm a little uncomfortable, but I kept going back to sleep, and I was okay. And I woke up, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel terrible. I am just releasing, and I'm releasing. All this stuff is coming up, phlegm and mucus and that sort of thing. Now this is, I don't want you to confuse detoxing with sickness, okay? Because I don't get sick, and I know that sounds weird. How do you not get sick? I haven't been sick in like 20 years, but I do detox, and I exercise regularly, and I eat a certain way, and I have been, and I get fresh air, so it's like all those things that are like, oh, did you get sick? No. What I did do, however, was a meditation, a series of meditations to connect with myself, to heal. Okay. I've been in this, let's just say for, 25, since about 2018, just dabbling and figuring things out. Right. So there's been a lot going on for me. A lot of the reason I do the spiritual wellness, energetic wellness stuff is because it's just kind of like my wheelhouse. It's what I enjoy, what's fascinating, and where my life is going in general, like where my life is heading. It's always based in that kind of a realm. So because there's a lot of stuff happening, forgive me if I'm a little all over the place, because what I'm finding is that the question that was asked, I still didn't say the question, did I? No, I didn't. But the question that was asked tied in perfectly to what I've been experiencing for a long time, but what I'm actually experiencing right now that's causing me to detox, and that started to relieve itself when I finished this book and this set of meditations and everything, earlier this month. So the question that Smooth Sailing asked was essentially knowing about, I had to, I should have took a picture of it like I thought, because I had it on my phone. I said, oh, this is perfect to put on my phone. but I didn't. I didn't save it. But it was, how do I know that I have an energetic block that is affecting or impacting my ability to, to lose weight? That is essentially what the question was. And I said, "Oh, that's a good one because that's what I've been dealing with for years and years and años and años." Uh, I've been dealing with these blockages, and I couldn't understand what was happening. Now, go back 2016 when AHA first started. We first started doing our thing. We were learning about all this stuff, right? So when Chris and I first started fasting, and the results were crazy. I was healing stuff, and I was all these good things. So when stuff stopped working, I didn't understand why. But early on, I noticed that I had to keep fasting in order to maintain, which I know that's not ideal for one. I don't want to have to do that. Um, but it was a necessity. It was the only way. And I thought that was so strange. So there was some sort of block. There was a dam there, right? There was some sort of dam, and I didn't know how to alleviate it, how to mitigate it. I didn't know. I didn't even know to keep looking as far as, you know, is that's concerned. I just got to keep fasting, I guess. Or it was such a norm for me anyway, that it wasn't a problem. But after a while, things took their toll because, all the stuff that we learn, elimination pathways, and through the physical and that sort of thing. But that's just one aspect of it, right? So anyway, so I was doing my meditation, and I was just like, okay, higher self, let me figure some things out. Let me just see what's going on. Let me just tune in, okay? So I was doing these meditations, and I was learning about connecting. And I realized that I wasn't connecting with, my heart, which I know sounds strange. I know it sounds like, how could you be so disconnected with your heart? It's inside your chest. But when you realize that everything is energy, okay, even though you're in a physical body, you're still composed of energy. That's how certain mechanisms do what they do inside your body without, extra thought. Your brain does stuff, but your brain does stuff consciously. Okay. Like your heart does stuff independently, and these things they're supposed to be cohesive, and they're supposed to work together in tandem. Your whole body's supposed to do that, but excuse me, through trauma and our own experiences, that um, our experiences through other people putting things on us and affecting our beliefs, there's so many different ways that we can be kind of chopped up and chewed up, and you know what I mean. It's like, and it's as though we don't have control of our own agency, which isn't true. Okay. But the mind is so powerful that you can be taught that you are powerless. And a lot of times we do stuff just through instinct. We don't know better. We're not taught, we don't talk about certain things. So we just do stuff, and it's kind of like we're just stitching it together the best we can, but it's not really. Do you get what I'm wanting to convey? It's just that we're just children. We could be adults, and we're still children, just figuring it out. And it's where all this internal work comes from, because there's a lot to it. So anyway, that connection to my heart, right? Now, after I finished these set of meditations, and I was reading this book, well, I did the meditations while, listening to the book. It was kind of like chapter of reading, chapter of meditation, chapter of reading, chapter of meditation. The whole book was like that. I was like, okay, I like to just read a whole book through, and then, you know what I'm saying, and then do all the stuff, but it's all good. And so I finished all these things, and I noticed that only at nighttime, and only when I was in a horizontal lying position in my bed, that I would start to get cold right here and itchy a little bit. Not cool, cold. And I was just like, why is my heart center or my chest cold and itchy just right here? Now, the whole day, I'm perfectly fine. It's all good, no problem. As soon as I lay down, then it does that. Then I get a little cough. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's like mucus or something. Wake up the next day, perfectly fine. No, whatever. Should I throw a patch on? You know what I mean? But I'm good. And then go to sleep the next day, and it's the same thing. Now, this had been happening for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I didn't really, you know. And I think it all came to a head this week. Mindful anxiety. I don't know. I look. I'm not anxious. I don't be. I don't be anxious. I'm extremely patient, and I live in the present as much as possible. I think about the future, obviously, because but I'm very much. I make that a point to be right here. Um, but yeah, so I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, I felt fine. I'm just like, but it was cold. I've never felt. I don't think I've ever felt a cold sensation in my chest like that while I'm not breathing in cold air. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's wintertime, I used to live in Ohio or grew up in Ohio. You be out there in that 9 degree or -2 degree weather, and you breathe that in. Yeah, that's gonna make your chest cold when you breathe in, right? But it wasn't like that. My room, it's warm, whatever. And then all of a sudden I breathe and I'm just, oh, my chest is cold. So there was something about that connection there. There was something about the you know the heart center, um, and cold for me. I that to me is like disconnection. Uh, this lady that did Reiki on me, well, she was a coworker. Both did massage, but she cold for her was, oh, it's okay. Something shut off or it's closed off, right? It's closed off. It's disconnected. So for me, the cold sensation was oh, okay, some sort of disconnection, which makes sense to me, right? Because I experienced a trauma of the heart a few years ago that I've done my best to let go of. But I think in all the releasing and healing, there's just something, there's a plug in there that just wasn't plugged in all the way, right? Wasn't tuned in all the way. So I was like, okay, cool. And I've been learning that there's ways that you can connect. Anyway, I don't want this to sorry, like I said, there was kind of a lot of information here, and I'm just kind of bringing it all together. But I'm going to get to the question and everything. But well, it ties in. Like it actually ties in. So I saw this shaman years ago, and she mentioned telling me that my heart chakra was really open at this time. Now, this was before the heartbreak really set in and it really, did me dirty like it did. But she was just like, my heart was really, really open at this time. She said, like, maybe it's a little too open, which I was just like, could it be too open? You know what I mean? Is that something? But when I realized later on, I was like, I think it's okay to have a really open heart, but you can't allow yourself to be hurt. It's like you gotta love like you've never been hurt before. It's like that. You can't get hurt and then close it down because it screws up so much stuff just inside of you. Because when you learn about energy or the chakra system or whatever it is, there's the crown, the ajna, the throat, right, the heart, and then the bottom three solar plexus, sacral, and root. The heart center is the bridge between the top and the bottom. If you go to a bridge, oh, okay, Bay Bridge. It's in Maryland, I believe. The Bay Bridge, right? If that bridge is broken, can't nobody go to Maryland up there. You have to find a whole nother way around. It'd be crazy, right? When the bridge is broken and shut down, information can't travel. Energy can't travel. So there's a disconnect. there's a disconnect between you and you, between this and this, your brain and your heart. You know, these things, they work in tandem. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Are you able to share the title, author of the book? Yes. Yeah. I'll share it for sure. Um, Remind me if I forget. I should remember though, even if I just post it in the old chat. But if your brain and your heart can't communicate, it affects you way more than what you think. So, and here's why I say this, because I've been dealing with things like my weight, okay, my weight, but my imagination as well, feelings of joy and exuberance, zeal, fun, high energy. Like, why are these things difficult to feel, or whatever. And when you realize that you have an energy block, or it's cut off because your bridge is out, then of course you're not going to be able to emote and connect this chakra to this one to get this or whatever, because the bridge is out. Your heart is extremely important. Now, one of the things that I do is dowsing. I do dowsing. Some of the OG or challengers know that. That's something I've recently introduced anyway. But I use that to figure out certain things, like how important is it for my visualization ability that I'm connected to my heart, that I can, and it's extremely important, because and it's not to say that that's the only thing that's important, but it's a factor. And if everything does impact everything, then that bit of disconnection, or a lot of disconnection, is going to impact your ability. And for me, visualization, using my imagination, it's been more of a not a chore. It's just been difficult, which is strange to think, right? Because you just close your eyes and imagine stuff, right? But it used to be easy like that, but then at a certain point, it just got harder, and it's like, well, why is that? And then you realize you start cutting yourself off from yourself, your own power. So the reason I bring those things up is because this past week, when I was detoxing and getting all this old phlegm mucus out of I'm just like, my goodness, how long has this stuff been there? It was so dark. And then I'm starting to okay, well, no, it's okay. I've already shared this before. At least I think I have. I don't know if I have or not. But I when I close my eyes, I like see lights and colors and stuff, and I get like I'll see signs and stuff. I saw this Sanskrit before I knew what Sanskrit was for I believe it was the crown chakra, and I would close my eyes and I could see it as clear as day. And I open my eyes, I was like, what is that? And there'd be nothing. And I close my eyes again, clear as day. And I was just like, wow, okay. So, but when I kind of got cut off, I felt disconnected. So what had happened was I have been reconnecting to that part of me. And through this process of reconnecting, it's now expelling what I believe is not necessarily the trauma, but the residue from that. Because I'm just like, I've let go of that so many years ago at this point. It's so many years ago. Like, this woman was like my everything, and she ain't want me. But I was just like, but it taught me some valuable lessons, and I've let go of it, and I've done everything that I could think of to move past it. But it's like the gift that keeps on giving. And while I'm not mad at it, honestly, because you don't know consciously what life is going to bring you to teach you what you need to know to be the person that you came here to actually be. It is a series of circumstances, events, situations, and people that you meet that elevate you through various circumstances to get to where you're going. And this is why there are no bad experiences. And if you can keep that mindset, you'll realize that everything's working. I'm going through stuff right now that I'm just like, all this works for my favor. maybe didn't feel like it in moments, but because I'm self-taught, I guess I'll say. But I've listened to books and people that have certain experiences, and I'm just like, it confirms what I've already been doing for these last, let's just say 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years. And I'm like, okay, so it's like I don't need to be upset. I know what being upset. I don't want that burden. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give with my heart because it feels right to me. I don't want to hold back on people, in that way. Like if there's something that I can do, if I care about you, yeah, you might do me dirty, but I'm not gonna do you like that. That's not and it's a whole thing. So oh, it's resonating. Okay, good. I'll talk about some dowsing. Yeah, I'll talk about it. But I'm glad things are the dots are connecting, because you might think that I'm doing everything that I can. I'm doing the prep. I prepped just like they told me to, and I'm eating well. And I cut out all that stuff that's doing me dirty. I'm going for walks. I'm getting that sunlight. I'm practicing diaphragmatic breathing. Oh, getting them those good breaths in. You grounding. You do all, and then you might be wondering, like, why are things still not working? Because that's just, unfortunately, we're pieces of the puzzle. But what's the root? So, what's one way to know if you have an energetic block that might be hindering you from reaching your ultimate success? The first thing is, well, notice your body. Where, when you're just, and see, and this goes back to that heart connection thing, right? Because if you're disconnected to your body, how do you know when it's in pain or struggling or things ain't working, or how do you know? You're disconnected from it. You have no idea when your body is suffering. And all the body can do is hope to get your attention by making the signals a little bit louder. They knock a little bit harder, but then they gotta knock a little bit harder some more. Then they gotta knock a little bit harder some more. Then they gotta, but see, every time it knocks louder, then that's a symptom maybe that's coming up. That's just like, ooh, what is this? And it took all of that just to get your attention, right? So if you check your body, so for me, one of my signals, to let me know that I had a disconnect, was that I would get supremely bloated. I mean, terrifically, terribly bloated with eating the simplest foods. For example, I think I told the story before, but I mean, who even remembers? When I was in Arizona, there was this soup place that I liked really a lot, and I would go get soup. And I'd get 2 different soups, and I'd take my little soup home in my apartment, and I would eat it. Boom, dinner, soup. It'd be the tomato basil and this cauliflower soup. I would eat my soups, and then the little roll comes a little roll. Eat my little roll, and I would be bloated. Like, this is how I likened it. And I'm. It's going to sound like an exaggeration. Obviously, I've never felt this because I'm a man, but I'm just like, this is what it has to feel like to be 9 months pregnant and you're ready to give birth to the baby. That's how like, and I'm talking about soup. I had 2 bowls of soup, not 10,000 calories of burgers and pizza and hot wings and all the soup. And I was so bloated, in fact, to the point that it took many hours for it just to finally kind of settle. And then I woke up the next morning, just somewhere, it was like 6, 7 a.m. And I vomit. So I just roll out the bed and vomit. I'm just like, what's going on? And I'm running to the bathroom and I'm just like, this is insane. Like, this is absolutely insane. Okay, so that's you. See? Now there's a couple of things here. And this is why I went on this journey, because I had to find out. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I knew it wasn't physical because I'm not eating anything crazy. I'm a vegetarian, but plant-based vegetarian, and so it's essentially like most of the time it's vegan, because that's just how we name things. And so I'm just like, my diet doesn't make sense as far as what I'm eating. This shouldn't be affecting me like this. I'm super strict, but I'm like exploding out, and it didn't it didn't make sense to me. And I searched things, and this is why I've been on this journey, and I talk about things that I talk about, because this is the perspective, right? This is the perspective that we need. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So, but the funny thing about this is there's always another component. There's always another component. There's the physical side of the thing, then there's the spiritual side, or the energetic side. There's not one without the other. It's just, can you notice, which ones do you notice? Now, we being human beings, our propensity is for physical, because we see and feel and hear with all our physical senses, right? But just because you can't see it with your physical eye don't mean it's not there. Okay? It's there. And it's part of the reason. So I finally, I spoke to somebody who did, energy work and all this cool stuff, and she helped me to understand that the energy flow was off, essentially. Now, one of the things that she told me was I had a lot of anger. That was causing me, problems. And I had a lot of anger as a child. I had anger up until a certain point where it just kind of stopped. It was literally like a switch flips and the anger just went away. And it wasn't important for me to understand that until years later, because I'm just like, why did that anger just turn off? How did it just turn off? Because there's no action without consequence. Anger is a useful emotion, as are all the emotions. They're useful. They have a purpose. And if you just turn one off, what is the consequence of doing that? What's the consequence of just turning off your anger? That means it doesn't mean you don't feel it, okay? But if you turn it off, if you plug the hole, it's still building up underneath, right? You just plug the hole so it don't get out, but it's building up. And it might explode on the inside, but the top is still covered, but explode on the inside, and it's just wreaking havoc on the inside. And you're trying to figure out, I don't even know a good example. Why are you so angry, but you're not angry? You just confused, whatever. Like these things, there's an etiquette. There's a proper step-by-step order to everything. Emotions are to be detoxed. What do you think crying is? Crying is an emotional detox. We've talked about this before. If you don't cry, I'm not saying you can't get it out other ways, but crying will expedite getting those emotions out of you so you can, okay, I can think now. There was a time where I was another sign of being energetically blocked. There was a time for about 4 years where I could not cry. So completely unable to do it. This one girl that I was trying to date years ago played me so bad. And I was like, why would you play with my heart like this? And it was so bad. And it was just like, I felt like I wanted to cry and I couldn't. You feel your eyes well up, they start welling up here and it's about to come out. Imagine that. And then somebody just says, boom, stop. And then they just take it away from you. You needed that cry. You knew that was going to be the one thing to make you feel better. And then somebody just takes it away from you. 4 years, that's where I lived in that. So this energetic blockage, this inability to the highway being cut off, I've had so many different avenues that were blocked. I guess that was apt. So many avenues that were blocked, so many bridges. And I've spent the last 5 or so years working to reconnect them because I'm just learning as I go. I don't think there's necessarily a map for this because it is something so individualistic. I mean, maybe there is, but so yeah. So check inside your body, and I don't even think it's just like your stomach, because people tend to hold weight in certain areas. So then you got to think, if the first one is check your body, goodness, then the second one is, okay, well, let's check the area that the chakra that is what's the word? Not leading. But if it's the heart, okay, do you have chest something? If you have trouble with your thinking or your imagination, maybe it's your ajna, your third eye chakra. There's some kind of disconnection there. Like, oh, I can't see that. Like, I hear what you're saying. It makes sense to be logically, but I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't imagine it inside. Maybe you got a disconnect there. Oh, you say I can lose 100 pounds if I really work towards this. I can lose 100 pounds in 3 or 4 months. I can really do that. I can't see it. Chris, I can't see it, man. I hear you. It makes sense. I see everybody got their paper. I don't see. Maybe you got a blockage here, blocking your ability to see what could be, because before action must come thought. You gotta see you know what I mean? See it before it becomes real, before it's made manifest. So is there what's the other? Oh, sacral. Your sacral chakra deals with that creativity and that, well, yeah, that creative energy. You don't feel creative? Oh, I'm not that creative. Are you sure? Because we was all creative as children. Or did you get stifled so much in your life as a child that your sacral chakra got bogged down and it got shut down, and now you don't it's not flowing the energy like it's supposed to? Because what happens is it's not just as long as you got 5 or 6 of them, turned on, it's all good. You want to have all of your energy pathways flowing open, because then everything runs the way it's supposed to, no matter what you're wanting to do. Whether you want to be physical and be successful in sports or fitness, or whether you want to do more intellectual stuff, or, creative pursuits, all of your energy has to flow from top to bottom. I learned recently that my energy was only flowing from here to here, the top 3, because my heart was blocking stuff. The bridge wasn't activating. So, my ability to take that energy from the root, that's just that life, that vital life energy, and to bring that up to actualize in a different way, I couldn't really do it. And I didn't know why. So it's like, okay, so there's the reason. That gives me something to focus on. It gives me something to focus on. So these are things that I know that a lot of people don't talk about. I mean, I don't know who ever talks about this stuff. If anybody talks about, I mean, surely somebody does. Maybe I don't know, but they're when we're thinking about blockages and how it's impacting our body, like it can show up in many different ways. I've had clients who, just through our conversation, were able to have difficult conversations with parents, things that have been looming for decades because of the, hey, you need to focus on your voice, on your throat. You can't let people steamroll you because their ideas are somehow more worthy than yours. Like, that doesn't make sense. You're a people just like I'm a people. Your ideas can't be better than mine just because you're older than me. Maybe you have experience that you can draw on that will, give you an idea of what might occur based on how it's occurred in the past. But that's really just using retrospect to say, well, this happened before, and you don't want this to happen again, so it's safe to do this. And it's like, yeah. But now you're living in fear too, right? So there's a lot to be said about doing the thing that needs to be done that correlates with the specific chakra, uh, to free up the energy. Your problem may not be, oh, I just can't stop snacking, or I can't I don't know, I need my treats. Your problem may not be that. Your issue may be, this is how I cope because when I was little and I would speak up and say things that were creative or exciting or fun to me, I would get steamrolled. And in order to deal with those emotions, now we got other things, other emotional content and that sort of thing. But here's like another side to it. You got steamrolled, and to quell those feelings, you use food and now your job is to give your really your inner child what he or she needs, so that when those things come up, you can, oh, this is what I really need. I need this expression. I need expression. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's music, painting, saying weird things because it's funny to you. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is to do it. The point is to do it. Don't let anybody stifle you. Okay? Me, you want to know what mine is? Excitement, fun, and to the point where I wish there was something I could share with you right now, but I planned it and it didn't work out, and I was super salty about it. So, I mean, it's still going to work out. I just have to do it later than what I expected, than I wanted to. But anyway, but excitement for me. And it's to the point now where I need something so extreme that it will allow me to all it is essentially is what's the word? A pilot light. Just a little spark, just to get that flame going again. That's all I need to get that energy that I had before. Because I've been dull. I've been, reserved, just because the energy has been low, right? The energy has been low because my lower chakras are bringing that energy up, but the bridge was out and it couldn't connect, it couldn't flow through. So I needed that. And remember what I said? Oh, I do things don't really be that exciting to me. So it's like I needed something that's going to be so thrilling, and I already know what it is. I was already going to do it, but had to cancel because it was windy. So it's all good. When I do it, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay. But sometimes we need to do something so extreme just to get us out of that shell, to break the shell, to break the mold. That's what I did Well, what was it? 20 years ago when I joined the military. I said, I'm out of high school. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm not going to college. I well, not that I didn't know I was going to college, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I need something that's going to help me, just to expose me, just to give me something to, to see, because I didn't know nothing. My dad exposed us to music, and that was it. That's all I knew. So I thought I was going to be a music teacher, because that's all I was exposed to growing up was music. And it's like I enjoyed it, but I'm just like, you don't really get to. So I had to do something. I had to do something drastic to figure it out. And no, I didn't stick with the military thing, but about 5 years. But it, I was able to be productive while I exposed myself to the world to see different things. So it takes that kind of extreme thing to get you from where you are to where you want to be. The key is knowing what thing is necessary. So I say, well, where's your issue lie? Are you able to have fun? Like genuinely, can you go hang out with friends and be like, man, I had such a good time. I was cracking jokes and laughing. Okay, fun's probably not what you need. Do you need to express yourself? Do you need to do art? Do you need to dance? Do you need to, just, I don't know, say weird things at 3 a.m. and just be like, say whatever comes up because it makes you feel funny or whatever? Do you need to do intellectually? Do you need to express? Do you need to like read books that challenge you in a different way, that maybe unexpected way? Like there's, oh my goodness, y'all, the phlegm is almost gone, but I don't like coughing all like this. Y'all should have seen it too. I don't want to say that. Well, y'all should have seen it. But yeah. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? What's that comment? Okay, hold on. See, because I've been telling the story and I've been cutting, but it's I gotta be staying locked in, because if I'm trying to read the comments and then the story's gonna get, because there's already a lot to kind of bring together. But okay, yeah. I can see my disconnect. I used to get blue. Okay. Okay. So see, some people can see the disconnect. Blocked as well. Gone much better. Okay. So see, okay, so I'm glad that this stuff is, because I'm just like, it doesn't always have to be just a who was it? Man, see, I don't keep track of all these things because it's just independent individual people's stories. But I did, man, this is a pretty good one. It's relevant, but the point is, there was advice given like, hey, do this thing, have this chat with your mother because it's extremely important to you, right? Extremely important to you. She said, came back next week, had the chat. As soon as she had the chat with her mother, I think that next day she had dropped like 4 pounds or something. And I was just like, wow. So nothing else changed. Ain't no diet change, wasn't no fasting, wasn't anything like that. I got something off my heart that's been sitting there for how long, how many years, and that was enough to, start freeing up energy to start dropping that weight. So when it again, it's not always just about what you're doing physically, what you're eating or if you're fasting, but there's a that process of expressing in whatever way is needed to help your body re-energize, because when you put your body in the proper environment, it will take care of itself. Obviously, I don't beat my own heart. It's like magic. Like think about that. I don't beat my own heart. I don't breathe consciously 99% of the time. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that just happen, but there's things that I do consciously. Like I can choose which way I want to hold my hands and my fingers and stuff. And it's like this is magical. But then there's stuff that's happening all the time without my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So there's let's see what time is. Okay. We good. Still got a little bit of time. I mean, I put this for an hour, but I'm not saying that y'all can't stay any longer or whatever. So anyway, the blockages can come from many different things, and it's sometimes having that tough conversation, doing that thing that you've been always wanting to do but kept holding yourself back from. That's a block. You want to do it, okay? So your conscious mind says, I want to do this thing. I want to do this. When you say that, you're creating energy that you're putting out into the universe. I want to ride bikes. I want to ride bikes in the Sedona. I want to ride bikes in Sedona and and through the forest. Okay. I want to ride bikes, mountain bikes in Sedona through the forest. Okay. You put that out there. But then you're saying, but no, I can't do it because I got, my children, I got, this thing and that, and you never do it. So you're putting energy out there that you want to go do it, and then you're countering that energy saying, I can't. So what happens? What's literally happening here? It's a dam. It's a dam that's blocking energy. You are literally creating your own dams because of your indecision. I'm not saying that's the only way, okay? It is one way. And it's one way that we all do. And it's important to understand that and to be proactive and not do that. Because if it's something that you want to do, that you have the capability to do, I'm not saying to put yourself in debt and do anything crazy, but it's just like, oh, I want to do that. Yeah, I want to do that. Don't hit yourself with the, no. You're creating blockages in yourself. It's the expression. It's the expression. It's the, I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, this feels good to me. So I'm gonna do it. Right? This feels good to me, so I'm gonna do it. Not this feels good to me. Nah. You do that enough times, you'll start to feel that twinge of, it could be anything. It could be anything. But it's like from my perspective, it's like, approaching that lady that you find attractive. And you talk yourself, oh yeah, oh man, next time I see her, oh yeah. But then you're like, nah, don't do it, man. She might reject you. But man, she's so fine. I just wanna, nah, don't do it. She might reject you. Now you want to do it, but you don't do it. You create a block. Then when you see her, you get all tied up in knots. You don't do it, and you end up feeling terrible. You don't just end up feeling terrible for no reason. There is a reason. You have created energy that you have been blocking. You've created energy that you are also actively blocking. It doesn't feel good inside of your body, and it rests somewhere energetically. And the energetic nature of it will form over time a physical counterpart that will turn into something. It's just like people that feel anger a lot, and it's just like, and it hits, and it's like an ulcer or something. Like it turns into an ulcer. Like you're always angry, and you got that anger in you, and it's messing up it's killing you. That stress is killing you. This thing that stuff doesn't just go away unless you detoxify and let it out in some way. It's just going to be in there festering. So if you want to get those energetic blockages removed, you have to start figuring out, what's the thing that I'm holding myself back from? Okay, what am I holding myself back from? And again, don't put yourself in any danger or anything like that, but figure out what you're holding yourself back from, and start advocating for yourself. Like it's time. And look, it's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, because depending on how long you've been holding on to it, I know for me, I held on to it a lot of years, especially from my military time, because it was difficult for me during that time. I am not the military type. I didn't know that as a young 20 something. I had to figure that out. But when I got in, I'm around all these people that are completely opposite side of the spectrum. It's like, oh, okay, I can't hang out. I can't hang out with none of y'all. Totally different from me, right? Totally different types of people. Uh, but you gotta, but there's trauma, things that I have to let go, forgive, express, and it might take time. But there's that's those honest conversations that you have to have with self, and these things will free you. They will free you, and then you'll notice that you can start, okay, as my energy starts flowing because I'm not holding on to stuff from 20, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Things will start flowing a little bit easier for you. Like I was able to start getting my weight down by doing those energy practices, visualizing my energy flowing, doing my best to get that anger out. Different things like that. So yeah. But anyway, let me see. Lots of good stuff in here tonight, y'all. I know I like to tell stories to get my points across and everything. I can't believe it's been an hour already. Okay, Radical Helper wants to get a cancer-free, buying a new dumpster in their dumpster business where it's completely free to help those in need. I'm putting my fasting journey on the side to help others. Helping people there's a lot. There's a lot of good energy that comes with that. And I think it'll help with that anger that you might be holding on to. And that'll help. That'll help with that as well. I definitely felt the heaviness or weight from not doing something I wanted to. Energy feels blocked in my chest often. See? These decisions, no. These indecisions that we're making do not have consequences. When you want to do and you don't, even though you're fully capable, once or twice, 3, maybe even 100 times, probably not going to notice it. But we're talking about a lifetime of denying ourselves or just not flowing with what our energy is actually pushing us towards. And when you do that long enough, then the consequences, they're there. And if you can feel that, that means when you do the other thing, when you do the other side of it, you'll notice that too. And then it's just like that freedom will start to come back to you. And that's why I'm excited about this journey, because I'm just like, I've been in a certain place and I've been wondering, like, why have things been so difficult, even though I put so much effort, so much effort. And it's just like, well, because I'm not fully energized. And it's without that energy, you can't manifest the way that you should be able to. You need it. You know what I mean? You need that. So it's all connected. So I say all that to say your energy's blocked. Okay. There could be something going on, not on the physical. You might need to connect with your heart. You might need to connect with that inner child. You might need to, your own will, your own imagination, whatever it may be, and start utilizing that again. And it's something that we kind of, as we get to adults, we get set in our ways, but that doesn't mean that we're stuck. It just means it's going to take a little bit more effort to kind of reset. And here's where the physical kind of ties back in, because when you learn about, I believe it's neuroplasticity, or the gray matter of the brain, As you get older, you have less and less of it, but through certain activities, you can increase it again. What's the activity? Things that are high energy, like, let's just keep it simple. Hit training, for example, high intensity intervals, things that get the heart going, and then you cool down. And then get the heart going again, and then you rest. And then get the heart going again. You doing things like that helps with, I believe it's the neuroplasticity, which helps, the gray matter, which makes learning easier, doing new things easier, like when you were a child. So, it's not our fault necessarily that we're in these positions, okay, via the trauma, the consequences, our own parentage, our own experiences. It's maybe not our fault that we're in these circumstances. However, you know what I'm going to say? It is your responsibility to get yourself out. And it doesn't have to be this fearful thing that you have to do alone. You have a community, but you have to take steps. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm 40, I'm screwed. I'm 50. What do you expect me to do? I'm 60. What? I can't do that." Come on now. Those are quitters attitudes. You look at some of these 60-year-old women I've seen recently, 70-year-old women. What's it, Chef Babette? That woman looks like a girl. She's 70-something years old. She looks like she's 30-something years old. Don't tell me. Okay? Don't tell me. There's a will, there's a way. You just have to, there's just an order, there's just a process. And it's not equal for everybody, because I might have more trauma than you. I might have to do more internal work than you do. So you may be further ahead because you just have less baggage, and that's okay. We're all different. So it's just like no comparison. It's just, the person that has more baggage, that has learned to get through it, maybe has more wisdom to offer to people that didn't go through everything they went through, but did this one thing that was similar. And it's like, here, young fella. I know that's really all you need, but this will be the thing to help you get. And you'd be like, thanks. So, and it's taking that honest look at yourself and starting to do that work, starting to put that work in. And look, I'm telling you, the energy part of it, it's a big part. It's a huge part. So you start to have a panic attack when I try to delve into these things. Okay, Amanda. So there's something there. There's something there. I might be able to help you with that, maybe. I might be able to help you with that, but because that shouldn't be, right? Like, you should be able to. That lets you know that's a trigger. That's a trigger. That's that thing there. Whatever the thought or the memory is, that's a trigger. You should be able to have freedom in your own mind. It's just like there's sovereignty. There should be nothing that comes in there that should, like, you are the king and queen of the freaking universe in there. There shouldn't be nothing that's in there that can take you off your throne, that can keep you from your bed if you want to be there. You rule, okay? And if you can't be, so it's like that's something to, I don't know if you do meditation or, well, anyway, you know what? I didn't forget. I did not forget, but I was going to give you the name of the book. Now, I did the audio book just because I'm glad I did. I didn't know it was going to be like this, but the meditations that came in the book, when you're reading a book, how am I going to do meditations while I'm reading the instructions to it? You know what I mean? So it was helpful for me because I think it's it's hard. Like, I can't do a guided meditation by me reading it to myself. And you know what I mean? So anyway, Um, but so there might be something with, connecting with yourself, connecting with your heart. But the name, oh shoot, I didn't have this pulled up, so let me just go ahead and get it. Okay, cool. Oh, can I write it in the chat? But yeah, the name of the book is Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self by Sanaya Roman. But let me type that in the uh-oh. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Spiritual Growth by Sanaya. Oh yeah. Roman. Let me make sure I spelled her name right, because I really dislike misspelling people's names. Yeah, okay. So that that connection with self. If you get the audio book, you can listen to it, and you can do your meditations and all that stuff. And then, I just find that easier. Uh, Personally, I find that easier. And I tell you what, because I didn't go into all this, because there was so much that I was wanting to say. But when I did the because I told you I close my eyes, I see colors and lights and stuff. And when I did the meditation, the first one, to connect back with my higher self, I saw this. Now look, listen to me. I'm not bull driving, okay? I'm not bull jiving you. I'm not playing. I'm not making no stories. My eyes were closed. I'm doing my meditation. I saw this light come down like this and like boot me it punched me in the face. And it was at that point where I like opened my eyes. I was like, what is that? I'm in this dark room. What is that? And I think that was the thing that started this latest metamorphosis for me. Because anytime you talk to people that do, I've heard people tell stories about when their kundalini awoke. I read that, and they're like, oh, I got this. I was sick for this, man, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, huh, that's interesting. People, when they have experiences, there's a shedding off of stuff, shedding off and releasing of things. So you kind of you have to prepare yourself for you to be different to some degree. I mean, I can't tell you what you experience or whatever. The timing of this stuff is it's too perfect, and I don't believe in coincidences. You know what I mean? I don't believe in coincidences, and there's things that I've been asking for and wanting to figure out for the longest time, just so I can get my life to where I just want it to be, and shedding off, trimming the fat, as it were, letting go of needless burdens, things weighing me down. It's an important part of the process. Yes, yes. I've been feeling really angry about events that happened either recently or in the past. I can't stand injustice or disrespect. I feel you. I feel you on that. But that's I feel you on that. So if it triggers you, then what's it teaching you? What's it teaching you? And if you can allow yourself to be translucent, transparent, not like you don't care, but learning how to be around it or to be in it and to be unmoved. It's an extremely powerful place. That's something that I learned. And I was like, okay, because what I've been doing is let me just ignore it. I don't think that's the right answer. Can you see it and be unmoved? Because then it's just like you're seeing the world from a different perspective. Yeah, internal work is pretty serious. It is pretty serious. You're welcome, Amanda. There's much work to do, but the cool thing is, whether you're starting with fasting, whether you're starting with exercise, whether you started with the spiritual stuff, wherever you're starting, it's all necessary at some point. It's all necessary, right? You can be as spiritual as you want, and all that stuff, but you have all the things open, but you still want to have a strong, healthy body so you can maneuver in this 3D space, right? You know what I'm saying? So it all works together. They all work together, but we want to make sure that they're working together and not you got two out of three or something. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely parts that need to be revisited, re-nurtured. Don't think of it as don't think of it as trivial. If it helps, get a picture of you as a little itty bitty human, whether the baby version or like the toddler version, maybe something a little bit more, something you can sink your teeth into, like when you were 6, 7, when you had a little ego going, learning, and there's things that you wanted to do, and then talk to that version of you. And how would that version of you feel if you didn't keep your promises to self? We already had parents that didn't keep promises sometimes, or maybe a lot of times. How did that make you feel? Don't be what your parents did to you. You got to be better to you. And it's not knocking anybody's parents, but what I'm saying is that it is very powerful to go back in time and see yourself as that little person, and to do for that person what you've always wanted. It's extremely healing. I've listened to different read different books, listened to different talks, different techniques. It's one thing I learned years ago, quantum touch. He's talking about go back in time. I said, well, I can go back in time. Let me try that. This one girl told a story at the seminar. She said, after he did, the technique or whatever, I was just sitting there, and I was just fine. Everything was just fine. She was just like, she couldn't put her finger on it. Everything's just fine. What is that? And then she realized that she had been always like in this perpetual state, not stress, but I guess yearning for like a father figure, because I think this young lady didn't have her father growing up. And children, baby, we're incredibly perceptive, so it's like they may not be able to vocalize it, but they know something's missing. And she grew up with this feeling of something missing. So when she was in this group with the other people practicing this technique, and a man was, the assignment was to go back in time and to imagine holding her as a baby, she healed a part of herself that had been missing, that paternal love. And and she was just like, everything's okay. Like I'm okay. And it was just like, wow, to me, it was a really profound thing to read, because there's the understanding that you can in the present impact your past, which sounds like some magic, whatever mumbo jumbo. But look, y'all some of the books that I be reading, talking about the nature of the universe and all this and all this. I'm just like, look, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm all in. Anything's possible. For real, anything's possible. Okay. So, and then you think, well, what could it hurt if I'm experiencing this trauma and this thing and that thing? What could it hurt to say, let me go back in time and hold myself as a baby and then see how I feel after that? What could that hurt? I mean, in my mind, it could only help, right? So anyway, Oh, subliminals. Okay, I never. So I can't do certain stuff because like what's it? What's the binaural beats? Sound messes with me. Sound messes with me. So I don't know. My ears be still be doing stuff, but yeah. Some deep dive didn't get to the healing. I'm yearning for sometimes I just get stuck on where to actually start. Yeah, Daisha, you I would say just start with whatever's right in front of you. Don't look for the best thing. Don't look for, oh, this is the only thing. Just what catches your eye when you just look at it. I I've spent I used to go to the bookstore. I go to the my favorite section, which is what's it actually called? I always call it personal development or self help, but they got like the Joe Dispenzas and that kind of stuff in that section. And I would just look at books and see what catch my eye. And I read Becoming Supernatural just because I saw the book and I said, you know what? I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna read it. It's whatever catches your eye, and just start there because 90% of the stuff may not even be relevant or necessary, but there could be 10% of the stuff in there that's just like, this is exactly what I need. And you really can't discriminate, say like, that don't seem right, that don't seem. It's just like I just listened to another audiobook the other day, and there was one thing in there that because I wasn't sure if I was like, should I get it? And I wasn't going to, but I said, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. And you know what they said in there at the end? How important it was to have the heart connection open because that affects your imaginative qualities or the connection to your heart connection. Yeah, it was one of the things with the heart connection, either your imaginative quality um, or just your creative faculty. It was something like that. And I was like, aha. And it gave me something new to focus on that I didn't know to focus on before. I listened to the whole 9. Well, them books be like 20 hours long, but this last version was short because she died in the midst of making it. But and that was I think it was like the second to last or the last chapter. So at the end of this last book, and I got that was, and I was like, I something I need to focus on right now. And I did. And I've been doing the meditations of my own divine to help focus on my connection with my heart. Oh yeah, Dolores Cannon. That's my girl. That's my teacher, Dolores Cannon. And Abraham Hicks. Oh yeah, started learning from Abraham and them. Shoot. Years ago. I rock with them. Uh-huh. So, but anyway, y'all, third eye's wide open, and that's good. Ooh, I know that's right. That third eye need to be open, but it all needs to be open so you can actually, take full advantage. Take full advantage. But yeah, so this was the live tonight. Okay, I know that you all are about to come off this fast and be nice and slow. Get you a nice small, maybe a shot glass full of water when y'all start, and just start slow, sip real slow. Play a little game with yourself to force yourself to drink it slow, because when that water hits your lips, it's going to be hard to stop. Do not drink it from a big old bottle. Don't do that. Please pour it in a small container. Please. And just sip slow and bring yourself back up to hydration. But you got the instructions and everything. But hey, this is what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about that. Nice long hour and a half live. I don't know if I'm trying to go through these comments, but when I'm telling the story, man, I just be doing my best to stay focused. If I'm looking at comments, I'm gonna get thrown off, and I might be missing stuff. But Yeah, I think we did pretty good. Saying. Okay. But yeah, but that's so if y'all had any other questions, you know what I'm saying? We got the other Coaches Live coming up this Sunday fun day. And there'll be some more. There'll be some more chats. I think I'll talk about the dazzling stuff more. Oh, matter of fact, I can touch on that real quick. But I I manipulate energy. Okay, I manipulate energy. Everything is energy. Okay, I manipulate energy. So I use dowsing to you know to stack the deck of life in my favor as best as I can. Whether it's through intention, so thought, all the more reason why you want to be connected, right? So your energy flows, helps you get the result that you're looking for. But like helping people, for example, this is a quick example. This lady had an allergy to like vitamin C, citrus fruits. There we go, citrus fruits. And I said, ooh, get rid of them allergies. Let her eat oranges. Let her drink orange juice. And then she could. And she could drink orange juice after that. And I was like, that is so freaking cool and so neat. I like that. But I don't know if the person here still asked about the dowsing, but I douse with a pendulum. I just use a pendulum. And but it's really a thing to help check my work, help check if things are going. But it's just a tool. And I like to be able to have tools because it helps when you're on the journey. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. That last part was a nutshell. It was, a nutshell. But if you want to learn more, we could talk about it. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Man, I'm about to go. I'm about to take this hot shirt off. It's a nice shirt, but it's hot. You know what I'm saying? I've been sitting here sweating and doing this the whole time. I'm like, my goodness, it's a t-shirt. Well, it's a short sleeve, but I guess it's thicker than what I normally wear. I don't know. Temperature, me and temperature, man. We had odds. I feel like my whole life, me and temperature been at odds, but I don't know. Anyway, it's been great hanging out with y'all tonight. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go. I might have to take me a shower. I feel clammy. Isn't that weird? I keep my baby picture close by as well as my wife's photo helps empathy. Aha! Man, that's smart. Talk to baby you. I'm telling you. If I had furniture in here and photos and stuff, I'd put one of me up there. I got no pictures hanging up or nothing. Oh, you use a pendulum too? Oh yeah, you can do all kind of stuff. You do all kind of stuff. You do all kind of stuff. It's very fun. Very fun. So anyway, y'all, you are welcome. THI was a T space HI. So the high. But anyway, it's been cool hanging out with y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope it answered the questions. I trusted it wasn't too well, because 90 minutes. I hope it wasn't too wordy, but I mean, maybe it was wordy in a good way. I just like to, like I say, tell stories and stuff. But what would they say? Being transparent. Oh, of course, Queen Parker. Yeah, I learned a while ago. It's like I can't be. If I hide it, what good is it? Like some people might be uncomfortable, some people might feel a certain type of way, but eventually the people that know that this is who I am will and they'll be all right. There's stuff I haven't told y'all yet. At least I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember what I've said at this point. I was going to say the thing that I wasn't sure if I've ever said before today, and I was just like, should I say it? Then I said something different that was still relevant, but I was just like, I don't know. So I'll still hold on to secrets, or maybe I'm not. See, I'll even remember, because I'm just like, it's too hard to try to remember. But yeah, anyway. But yes, peace, prosperity, divine blessings, triple blessings. Do y'all watch that show? What's it called? On Apple TV with the Empire, the Imperial cloning people. Dang, I gotta see if they got a third season on that. But yeah, y'all have a great one. Enjoy y'all breaking of the fast. I'll still be fasting tomorrow. But I might be fasting next week, all through next week. Who knows? I don't know. Oh, somebody asked me earlier if I dry fasted. I did on the first day when I was down, because I was just like, I need all my energy to be on recovering. I need all my energy to be on recovering. I just slept all day. That's all I did. But yeah, anyway, let me stop bull jiving. All right, y'all. Dang, I wish I had like a topic 2 or something. I'd just go for another hour and a half. I don't know. Now let me stop playing. We'll hit me with another topic, and we'll do a little something else. You know what I'm saying? We'll do something else. All right, let me stop procrastinating. See y'all next time. The application of knowledge is power. I'm Johnny Jupiter, and here is the outro.